/join and then space
You're in.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna bring you a bed just in case you die. No. Hey everybody, welcome back to Cashew time. This time in 60 FPS and 1080p. I'm gonna get straight to the point. I let some other people into my world. I found you.
Let me kill this black man real quick.
And with these new gamers in the picture, I want to visit them.
Whoa!
Mr. Worldwide. Now sprinting there would be incredibly slow. Minecarts are better, but they're still not nearly fast enough. After a quick thinking session, I decided an elytra is the only tool for the job. For those of you who may not be aware, an elytra is a set of wings that lets you fly at incredible speeds. But not only are the elytra exclusively found in cities, a place I haven't been yet, but I would need a ton of rockets to fly fast and stay in the air. Now the recipe for crafting rockets is very simple. You throw some paper with some gunpowder together and boom, you get a rocket. Now considering how much sugarcane and consequently how much paper that I had, I would just need an industrial supply of gunpowder. But where can I get gunpowder? Well, I've got two words for you. The first one is creeper, and the second one, I can't really say. That's right, everybody. I'm going to be making a creeper farm that rapidly kills huge swaths of creepers. I wanted the farm to be off the coast of my base, much like the iron farm was, but it still had to be a good distance away. I decided to make the creeper farm off the coast of the island west of the main base. On a quick side note, there's something important which I added to the game, which you more astute viewers may have picked up on. Since the last video, I've added several more client-side mods to enhance my Minecraft experience. But my favorite one by far is Distant Horizons. As you can see, the model has a tremendous render distance of thousands of blocks. So long as I've explored a chunk, this mod can show me it from miles away. The only problem with the mod is that it doesn't show up in replays. So anyway, I started digging. I wanted to shape the island which the farm would connect to my absolute liking. So I started the terraforming off by leveling the entire island, and giving you the first time-lapse of the episode. In the hours it took me to flatten the island, I started brainstorming to think of what I wanted the creeper farm to look like. But eventually, I just turned on a podcast and experienced what you may know as no thoughts, head empty. And in this state of mind, tragedy struck. While digging, I accidentally broke the only tool I've ever broken, a diamond shovel named Lawnmower. Rip Lawnmower. Gone, but not forgotten. But hey, I got a video to make, so no time for mourning. So here's me, 1v1ing the rest of the island and avenging my fallen shovel. This is also the point where I learned how to tilt the camera in the replay mod, so enjoy that too. But not all of my time was spent breaking stuff. I had to build the island back up in the shape that I wanted it. Coincidentally, that shape looked a lot like the USA. While we'll have metric tons of gunpowder, don't expect any guns to show up here. TNT, aka bombs, are still on the table though. I put in the work and the hours terraforming the hills up to a point I was happy with, and tried to give the island a natural look as I added its curves and edges. If you look closely, you'll also notice that I got harassed by some pillagers, but I just ignored them and stayed on my Sigma grind set. It wasn't long before the edges were done too. But we're not done quite yet. I just had to fill the huge gap that the edges formed in the middle. Finally, armed with a supply of grass that could make even Snoop Dogg envious, I finished the American island for good. With the power of podcasts and caffeine, of course, I was able to finish this last step in a single sitting. Now it was time for me to do something useful. The time had come for me to build my first ever creeper farm. I used a tutorial from a channel called Shovelcraft to get started. Since I had so much cobblestone, I opted to let that be the main block in the build. The farm started, of course, with the collection system at the bottom. It was gonna need a lot of storage, so I used 9 double chests. I quickly moved to the killing chamber, which would compile all the creepers into a fire pit to be burned to death and drop their gunpowder. Next up was the most time-consuming part, which was replicating the platforms where the creepers would spawn. The farm uses a clever chain of water dispensers and observers to flush out any mobs into the killing chamber below. It also uses glass blocks to prevent spiders from spawning on the platforms as well. Since the farm is tileable, meaning it can be made with as many platforms as I'd like, I just randomly decided to go with 12 platforms on a whim. Once I had made the platforms, I had to go back and fill the roofs with trapdoors to prevent anything other than creepers from spawning here. Lastly, I added a lever to turn the farm on and off, and then covered it with a roof so that the platforms would be dark enough for creepers to spawn on them. With this farm finished, I gave it a test drive. I ran the farm for 30 minutes and got more gunpowder than I would need for months. Okay, well, it looks incredibly scuffed, it's hard to reach, but it works. That's the important thing right now. So we can expect this farm to generate at least 1600 gunpowder per hour. It was an absolute success. But let me get one thing straight. This is a creeper farm, but it is not the creeper farm. I have ambitions, I have plans, and pretty soon I'll have more gunpowder than anyone would realistically need. But before we get there, I got bored and wanted an elytra earlier. I think it's about time that I start working towards the Ender Dragon. Once we kill the Ender Dragon, we can explore the outer end cities and we can get... What are you Shut up! Once we get the end cities, we can start getting elytras. So I summoned my buddy Caden and we sought out the Ender Dragon. Now this part was really fun. So I need to gather a few things before we attack the Ender Dragon. I think we ought to bring pumpkins, you know? Do I not have pumpkins? Bro, I gotta organize this stuff. This is awful.
Maybe I put them in my chest instead of yours.
Did I tell you what I named my sword? Distant Horizons best mod. This is amazing.
Doubt it.
Okay, cool. Why is it, bro? Why is it so far away from everything?
Okay.
Left, left, left,
Where the freak
left,
did you go?
left. To your left. Ba-dum. Dong. You gonna be the first in the end, or want me to be the first in the end? Okay, cool.
Don't go in. Ooh.
I'm cracked. The first thing you ever shot was the Ender Dragon. Yeah. Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Bro, it just did a backflip. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm built different. I didn't look at you, chill. I can't hit him. What? I'm dying. No! It's a 0 health. Welcome back.
Freaking block.
Let's go! I got the achievement. I killed him with Morbius Sweeping Edge. That's weird. You wanna go kill some shulkers and stuff? Oh, dude, you can see the main end island because of the mod. That's so cool. What an adventure. Why did you jump? No.
Ooh. I wasn't thinking.
Why did you jump off the island?
Oh my.
You lost everything.
Okay, I'm done for today. Like, subscribe, you know.
Okay.
Don't do what I did.
Okay, I'm gonna keep up the mission and keep exploring. This is so sad. We got an F in the comments for Caden. Well, at least we killed the Ender Dragon. That's pretty cool. And it's almost day 1000. Oh, just being here is stressful. Oh, I'm so nervous. Please just give me a city so I can go home. If an Enderman just knocks me off, it's over. All my stuff gone. My first death. I'll still keep playing, but like I'll feel really bad about it. I found 4 portals, but not an end city. This is not safe. I am just so out of luck. What? Shift key is my friend. I've traveled like 4,000 blocks. Why haven't I found one? I'm losing my mind. What is that? What? Oh, is that a ship? I think that's a ship. Way too high to be anything else, right? Excuse me, gentlemen. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Can confirm it is an end city, and it is also a ship. What an unreasonable amount of time I had to spend searching. I made it. I've got looting. Oh, shulkers. No, please, no, please, no, please. Where's the bow? I did bring a bow. I'm so wise. I just don't want to deal with these guys. Let's just, huh? We did it. Juke, get juked, get juked. This is so cool. I've won. I'm winning Minecraft. I had to make some fireworks, have a really fun time. And now I got 4 usable shulker boxes. All right, I'm ready. Let's fly. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, it's so fun. 1, 2, 3. I'm at the iron farm. 3 seconds across the bridge. I could go find some more. I don't really want to. I feel like I okayed an elytra though. He did help me kill the Ender Dragon, and you know, even though it was kind of his own negligence that got him killed, I feel an obligation to repay him with an elytra. So maybe I'll just go ahead and find another one. Caden fell, so I could fly. So I'm gonna go get him another elytra. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. I found another one. Meow. Elytra number 3. Wonderful. Oh, look at that, another one. Sheesh. Mending is such a tremendous help on the elytra. Tremendous. Mend. I probably got like a day before it feels normal to use an elytra, but this I'm gonna enjoy it while it's fresh and new. Ah, okay, time to go home. Let's go. We got some more elytras. All right, I did start exploring a little bit, and I found this one grass bog. Another important thing is that I passed day 1000 in the world. In the months that came after my elytra, I did a tremendous amount of exploring. So much so, in fact, that I found every biome except for a mangrove swamp. And yes, that does include rarer biomes, like a mushroom island in the deep dark. I'll be exploring the deep dark later, like I promised in the last video, so stick around for that. I actually filled up 30 max size maps by the day this came out. It took so much time, but it's fun to look at. Oh, and I feel like I should also mention that I almost had my first death to a crafting table. While flying around the creeper farm, I went too fast with the elytra and I smacked the crafting table so hard that I dropped to half a heart. To make sure this wouldn't be a big problem again, I started a raid far away, and I got myself one of those cherished totems of undying. And before we go any further, I just want to flex some of the things that I found while exploring. Look at that! Wow, I'm such a good photographer. But I imagine this is not what you guys clicked the video for. You want to see me kill a small nation's population's worth of creepers. So, to get us there, I'm going now to the main course, the greatest creeper farm you might ever see. It took weeks, but I learned how to use World Edit, and I designed the entire farm. Without revealing too much, this is what some of the earlier models looked like. It wasn't so long before I could bring the blueprint of this masterpiece into Cashew time. But before I can build the giant gigachad creeper that we all want to see so badly, I needed a bunch of green stuff. So I gathered the only 22 cacti in the entire server and built a simple cactus farm. Cooking cacti in a furnace makes green dye, of which I would need tons for this. I layered the farm 4 times for good measure, and it makes like 50 cactus an hour. And when I say that there were only 22 cacti in the entire server, I'm not kidding. Look at this map. This was the only desert until like last week, and the only reason there was actually cactus here was because this red desert connected to this sorry excuse of a desert biome. I am glad it was there though, don't get me wrong, I suffered enough searching for this one. I would also need lots of wool for the build, so I searched far and wide for a pair of sheep to put in an eternal cage. I locked them in and I still don't feel bad about it. Not one bit. And as we all know, a sheep's gotta eat, so I made a small wheat farm to keep up with them. Those hungry little fellas couldn't wait to breed. It wasn't long before their incredibly round family tree filled the pen. After some weeks of grinding and gradual exploring, all my materials were in place and the creeper farm was ready to be built. I had finished the schematic and just had to replicate it. Now this step is the most fun to watch. The first step in making the farm was the shell which would surround the spawning area. I opted to go with a shape called an octagonal prism. I had gathered over 11,000 deep slate for this part, which kinda made me hate the mine in Minecraft, but I'd still say it was worth it. I spammed those deep slate tiles and columns until I got about halfway up the schematic, and then I had to remove the old roof from the original creeper farm. Once these slabs were gone, I picked up the pace and got back to work on the deep slate tile pillars. Even while editing, I'm just mesmerized by the way this looks on camera. It's so cool to see the hours I put into this be so compressed into this bingeable format that just draws your eyes in. Directly after this, I made the piping that would distribute the gunpowder around the bottom of the farm. This was one of the more technical parts of the build, and was surprisingly hard to make, even with the schematic overlay. I made sure to include both the gunpowder droppers and the 3 remaining kill chambers for the creepers. Next up on the to-do list was finishing the spawning platforms, of which there would be 4 towers. You might notice that there's some smooth stone at the top of the octagon that wasn't there before. It's because I tried this cool thing where I forgot to hit the record button. At the top of each of the towers, there would be a chain of redstone repeaters that would help me turn on all the platforms at the same time. This would allow me to turn on everything with a single lever. Once the towers were finished, I needed to fill in the roof of the octagon. This was another really simple process, but it still took hours. When the roof was done, I put more of the wiring in, which would again help with turning the farm on and off from the top of the farm. Next, we had to make the feet of the gigantic creeper statue that would rest atop the octagon. Of course, after the feet came the torso of the creeper. Finally, the creeper statue was finished with the creation of its head, which is where the player who wants to use the farm would have to stay. But there were still a few decorative things left to build. The first priority was adding pixel art of gunpowder to 4 sides of the farm. Just in case someone doesn't recognize that green stick of death on top, this should make it really clear what the farm is. My next goal was to connect the farm to the west island that I'd made using a bridge. I mostly used some stone blocks, but I also tied it together with a little bit of wood. I spent a good amount of time freestyling and adjusting the sides of the bridge, but it wasn't a big issue. It was nothing compared to the design process of the actual farm. I even took the time to decorate the pipe that took items from the farm to the island. With the bridge finished, there was a big problem to address. The farm was just floating over the water, so I needed to give it a basin to sit atop. Try not to get dizzy. Again, this was a freestyle build, and I figured it out with enough time. I was most indecisive about how thick the pillars at the bottom should be, but enough trial and error just gave me the answer. And with the basin finished, I did some tests to see just how much I would get from the farm. In short, it makes about 150 gunpowder every minute. Due to some piping issues though, it can only sort about 2 stacks of gunpowder per minute, which is 128. So the farm is a little vulnerable to overflowing problems, but it's not too big an issue. Fun story, it was making half of that for a very long time, and when I spent hours trying to figure out why, turns out it was because a single piece of redstone dust was just missing. And now, I bring you a scuffed and unenthusiastic tour of the inside of the farm. Alright, gonna be doing a brief tour of the inside of the creeper. In the front we have this interesting entryway made of glass. You can see the pipe below. Got this thing that drives you all the way up. You can also fall all the way down if you want to. There's water down there. And here's the main room. We have some indicators for the shulker box fullness, but mostly the gunpowder just ends up here. When each chest fills up, the light will turn on, indicating the chest is full. This is where junk goes. Almost nothing shows up here. If you choose to, which I don't so far because I don't have many shulker boxes, you can make the gunpowder show up in only shulker boxes, which will show up in these chests. When the shulker boxes are low, just as this indicates that it is, you can toss some empty shulker boxes into here. It comes in through this main pipe in the center, goes up there, gets sorted out. If it's gunpowder, it will go down here. If it's not, it goes up there in the waste items. Shulker box sorting, which is over here. I had to figure out how to make this as well. That was really hard. It's actually fully empty of shulker boxes right now. Because if I didn't want the gunpowder to be in a shulker box, it goes down. I think it's this path here, and then it goes up a different pipe on the right there. Is that no? I don't know where it is. It's in here somewhere. Yep, and these are for like the indicator bulbs over there. So the whole farm is 164 blocks tall. Oh yeah, and this is where you stand, you turn the power on. This will just automatically destroy items that are not gunpowder. There's like no need for me to do this, but it is cool to have as an option. So that is the internals of the creeper farm. Before I go, there is one thing that I promised I would do in the last video, and that is find the deep dark. So I set off to the nearest biome I knew of. It really sucked. Okay, so I don't think I want to be here anymore. Okay. Warden's here, warden's here, warden's here, run. I am so stupid. Oh my god, run. The thing was on top of me. That was so close. So I looked on my big world map. I found the tallest mountain I could think of, and just so happened to be an ancient city here. Oh, come on, man. Okay, the biggest thing I want to get from here is Swift Sneak 3. That single, actually valuable thing that I could get from the... Yeah, I guess they're just trying to signal to the player that, hey, you should use a hoe here. I'm looking up right now, and I can't see the ceiling, and that makes me uncomfortable. If the warden were to be summoned here, I need to be able to fly up and get away. Okay, so there's a shrieker, and there's a warden. I see lava, let's go that way. And another one went off. Seriously? Oh, come on, there are 2 wardens, really? Everything's fine. Oh, look, a chest. That detector up there just, like, activated that shrieker, and it spawned this guy, who is coming towards me, and does he know I'm here? Wait. Does he smell me? Kinda looks like he smells me, doesn't it? Oh, no. So he has a 20-block power blast that I need to watch out for. Oh, he's climbing. He's climbing. Oh, no. I'm gonna hold this just in case. Holy crap, that scared me. Oh, God. Time to leave. And I died. That's my first death ever. What just happened? That was my only elytra. No. This is an awful feeling. It's so far away. Yeah, the warden's overpowered. I hate this so much. So yeah, things did not go as planned. I died for the first time in the 8 months that I've been in the world. But not even death will stop me from having fun. I don't want to dwell too much on this failure, but instead focus on the great creation and accomplishment that is the Creeper Farm. But I do hate failure, so I will be returning to the Deep Dark soon. But that's just an adventure you'll have to wait to see. Next time, I'll be making several new farms, so stay tuned in the months to come for my next video. Please consider liking the video, leaving a comment, and subscribing. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.